credit repair hacks nobody is talking about, I am exposing all of the information that you need to know. If you are new here, my name is Credit Coach Nicole Scott. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, give me a huge thumbs up. I have a 25-part playlist that has, yes, 25 videos of the top 25 credit repair hacks you need to know about that nobody wants to tell you, especially for free. This is the same information you're gonna pay thousands and thousands to these other gurus on here. And guess what? All you have to do is spend some time, watch my videos, and it's for free. If you want access to this guide so you don't have to watch all 25 videos, comment the word guide. I will send you exclusive access to get this particular guide, because this guide has all 25 plus all of the links and information that you need. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about FTC reports. What are they? What is this all about? Because guess what? Most people out there, and I'm exposing people. I don't care. I am going to let you guys know what is really going on in this world. I'm going to just say it. Okay, don't be mad at me if some of you guys are watching and you run a credit repair business. Don't be mad at me. Okay, listen. What most credit repair people do, especially the ones on the internet that are advertising quick results, I can get your credit cleaned in 7 days, I can get your credit cleaned in a week, I can do this quickly, I can do that quickly. Well, obviously, that wouldn't be true without what's called an FTC report. So what they're doing essentially is filing an FTC report for their clients to speed up the credit repair process. And what an FTC report is essentially identitytheft.gov. Now, you got it right, identitytheft.gov. All right. So what that means is if you've been a victim of identity theft, this is the report that one would fill out. It's not like a police report, because a lot of times the police simply don't want to be bothered with taking these type of reports. And this is what the credit bureaus and a lot of creditors and other folks are requesting or requiring that one would fill out if they have been a victim of identity theft or if they have unauthorized information on their credit report. And that's where kind of people take advantage of it, because although someone may have not been a victim of identity theft, if they have unauthorized or inaccurate or erroneous information on their credit report, the credit bureaus are essentially requiring this be filled. It's not something that we kind of made up. It's something that the credit bureaus have been asking for. So a lot of times when the credit repair people find out about these type of hacks or secrets or what may call it, they really run it into the ground. So I don't recommend that you file these type of reports unless your client has unauthorized or a mixed credit file, identity theft, or they have accounts that simply do not belong to them, they didn't authorize, whatever the case may be, but they had nothing to do with it and it's not theirs. In that case, yeah, this is what this is for, to file an FTC report. This is an FTC report right here. Okay. Essentially, it's kind of like an affidavit in a sense. But if someone has truly been a victim of identity theft, they're going to want to do multiple things in order to protect themselves. Number one, file this report. Number two, they're going to need an identity theft affidavit. And we all know things are getting harder and harder to get removed from your credit, especially when you've been a victim of identity theft or you have unknown accounts. I've even seen it where people have been mixed up with other people, family members, or other people that had a similar name, but it was a junior, senior, whatever the case may be, and that's not their account. This is a prime example of what this is for. Nobody is going to review these reports, essentially, so it's up to you to provide that report to the appropriate parties. In that case, it would be TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Now, going through this report is very, very simple. And we're going to do that in this video just so you guys can get a feel for it, because I know a lot of people are like, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Well, the first thing is you go to identitytheft.gov. All right. Second thing is we're just going to start over. You're going to click on Get Started. All right. Now you're going to want to report that, whatever the case may be, if you were exposed to a data breach, then yes, you're going to file an FTC report. So that's another topic that we're going to be talking about later on in this series. So make sure you watch all of these 25 videos because I'm telling you, it's jam-packed full of secrets and hacks. So you want to report identity theft. You're going to select all of these things that particularly matter, right? So in this case, it might be credit cards, it might be loans, whatever the case may be. Hit continue. Okay, tell us how your information was misused. Select whatever might be applicable to you. Maybe someone has inquiries or they tried to apply for something. You can select that. All right. And hit continue. Okay. Now what you're going to want to do is just hit continue again. And you can do this one of two ways. You can create an account or you cannot create an account. I recommend creating an account so that way you have access to the PDF. And if you ever need to update it or create another one, you certainly can. All right. So first thing is put the company information here. So say you have a Capital One on your credit report that doesn't belong to you. It was fraud. You have no idea. It's not yours. Okay. When did you notice this? I just noticed it. So you're going to put whatever the recent date is now for brand new year. Okay. So they don't even have this yet, but we'll just put December 2024. All right. Now, if something is not required, just leave it blank. Okay. You're going to see what is required and what is not required. All right. Now, if you want to add another account, go ahead and add this account. All right. So say this was a collections account and you're just putting the collection agency's name. Put exactly how it's shown on your credit report. Okay. If it's from Midland Funding, put Midland Funding. Okay. When did you notice this? I just noticed it. When was it open? I don't know. I have no idea. If you know, right? A lot of this we're not going to know. Okay. So you can leave a lot of this blank. It doesn't matter. Put the account number in exactly how it is showing on your credit report. You can literally copy and paste it. If you need a copy of your credit reports, I've left a link in the description. Get Smart Credit. It's easy, user friendly, and it's a 3B, meaning it's right next to each other, which makes it easy to see what bureaus are reporting it and what bureaus are not, and identifying any errors that you might see across the board. Because if there are any errors, that's a problem. If there's only one correct answer, so all of the information on Experian should be the same with TransUnion and Equifax. I don't care if it's a dollar difference or a day difference, it's inaccurate. All right. FCRA needs to be 100% accurate, means it needs to be 100% accurate. Okay. That's not 100%. Okay. Anyways, so back here, we're just going to put in the account number. And again, all of this you can leave blank. You can add up to 3 accounts here. All right. So the next one, you might have another collection from, say, collection 1. When did you notice it? I just noticed it. I just reviewed my credit report and started seeing these things. Put the account number here. Okay. If it's got X's and O's and all this weird stuff, copy and paste it exactly how it's showing on your credit report. That's all we know. All right. So now you've got all of these accounts and it's actually going to let you add a couple more. So let's see. Credit 1. All right. Let's see how many it'll let us add. Oh, they're letting us add more now. Credit 2. All right. Okay. So the maximum is 5. So it used to be 3. They've kind of upped it now, I guess. So you can add 5 accounts that are fraudulent. All right. And fraudulent is described as any account that is reporting fraudulent information. Okay. All right. Continue. Now we're going to fill out our information here. And what it's going to do is you're going to put in your phone number and it's going to send you a text message to your phone to verify everything. And you just have to verify it. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put in sample, and you can ask for a text message or a phone call. Who is this filling out for? Myself. What's your date of birth? Go ahead and put that in there. What's your current mailing address? Put that in there. The time that you've lived at the address. Has the victim's legal name changed? No. Okay. We're going to go ahead and hit continue. Oh, we got to confirm our phone number here. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay. I just easily confirmed it with the text message. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit continue. And then do you know anything about the person? Nope, I don't know nothing. Credit bureaus, have you reviewed a copy of your credit report? Yes. because we have. Were there any other fraudulent accounts on your credit report? Yes. Was any personal information? Yes. Addresses, phone numbers, names, and then you can list all of the inaccurate personal information that is listed on your credit report here. So if there's any other names, juniors, seniors, whatever the case is, put all of that in here for the names, put all the inaccurate addresses in here, just use a comma to separate them, keep it easy. Phone numbers, okay, if there's any jobs that you never worked at, put those in here. Have you requested a fraud alert? Nope, you don't want a fraud alert. Have you contacted the police department? Whether that's a yes or a no, you can put that no or yes, whatever. Were you exposed to a data breach? Yes. Okay, we were all exposed to the Equifax data breach. And I'm sure that most of us have been exposed to other data breaches as well. So you can select all of those if you have been. Has a debt collector contacted you about a debt that isn't yours? Yes. We're going to hit continue. Now, this is the personal statement. You'll notice that you have 1,000 characters here. You want to use all of those characters. So if you have any other accounts, any other information, any other inquiries, you can make a statement here. The following inquiries are unauthorized, or the following inquiries are unknown. Put the inquiry name and the inquiry date. Okay, so if I have inquiries, I just put unauthorized inquiries. Okay, learn how to spell, Nicole. Yes, indeed. All right, unauthorized inquiries. We're going to put, maybe you had from Capital One and then the date. And then, exactly, just copy and paste it exactly how it's showing on your credit report and list out all of the inquiries or additional information because, again, we can only put 5 accounts. So list all that stuff out, this, that, blah, 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 blah. Hit continue. And now you're going to be able to review your FTC report. This is what it looks like. All right. Once you hit submit, finalize, then it's going to generate the FTC report and it will have a report number on it. Okay. Now this is just for information, educational purposes. So it's not going to be a real one. And of course it even says sample. So I'm going to just hit yes here and I'm going to hit finalize. And you can, at this point, create an account, or if you're like, hey, I don't want to create an account. You can do it either way. You can submit it just as is, or you can submit it and create a free account. I recommend creating a free account because then you can come back and log in at a later date. I'm not going to create an account right now because this is just a sample. So I'm just going to submit without an account. And here we are. We're going to go ahead and download the copy and it's processing right now. So here it is, right? And what we're going to do is just save it as a PDF on our computer. So we have a copy of that and we're going to print and mail a copy, or we can upload it to Experian or upload it to TransUnion or upload it wherever we need to upload it. But we got a copy of our FTC report. And remember, this is a one-time report. So do this on a computer. All right. So that way you can save it. All right. So when it says download, you just want to save it as a PDF. You have to save this as a PDF because then you can print it. You can do whatever. You've got a copy of it. Right. And it's not like people are monitoring this website. It's not like if you make a mistake and say, well, I didn't recognize this. It's not a huge deal. Okay. So people think, oh my God, well, what if I get in trouble? It's not like a police report where if you made this, a report and it wasn't 100% forthcoming, you could potentially get in trouble because that is a police report. Now, this is a government report. If you're unsure, you can put something like unsure of these, or these are unknown, right? So even if it were to come back unknown, I don't know, right? But use it responsibly, guys, okay? But this is how you create an FTC report, you get a copy of an FTC report, and sometimes the credit bureaus don't always delete things the first time around, all right? That's just the bottom line. So you have to keep on disputing. You have to keep chipping away at that old ice block until you get the results desired, all right? And sometimes that means filing a new FTC report because the credit bureaus want an FTC report that's been dated within the last 60 days. So you can always come back and create another report that's more updated. You can create an FTC report just for TransUnion. You can create an FTC report just for Equifax. So, there's different things that you can do to ensure that that particular credit bureau, gets everything that they have on file for you removed or blocked, right? That's what we're asking for, is to block this data from our report. And that's exactly how it's done, because anytime you're asking for an identity theft block, by law, it even says in the law that they have 4 days. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about other ways that you can get information blocked from your credit. And of course, this is probably one of the fastest ways to do it, but there are other methods as well, which is so important to watch all 25, subscribe to get notifications. And if the, series is already out by the time you're watching this, make sure that you have subscribed and like and comment, guys. Thank you so much for watching and learning with me. To learn more, make sure to join the credit community. I've left links for everything that we've talked about in the video inside of the description. And if you feel like you need help, I do one-on-one coaching, and I also do the group coaching mentorship inside of the credit community. So, join, reach out to me. I'm happy to help people that are serious, ready, willing, able to, invest in themselves and make sure that they're serious about this, because credit is a long-term commitment, and it's really important to have a healthy relationship and to preach having a healthy relationship with credit, because it's not like it was in the 90s or the early 2000s where it was so easy to, claim identity theft and get everything wiped off your credit. It is not that time anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So we are in a new era where AI and technology have taken over, and it is getting harder and harder to run. We want to just try to avoid that, but in the event that you have been a victim or things have gone south, whatever the case may be, here you go, right here. So enjoy, my friends. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.